Well, hello everybody. Welcome to my first outing in the 1962 season cards that I just purchased that came in over the weekend. Got them all sorted, unperforated, sorted, and put in their team envelopes. Gotta love the Colt 45s, one of those expansion teams. I love expansion teams. And speaking of expansion teams, we're looking at the New York Mets' first ever game that they played in St. Louis, Busch Stadium, against the St. Louis Cardinals. Casey Stengel, the manager, 40 and 120 were the Mets, and Johnny Keane managing for the St. Louis Cardinals. Another thing I like about this is there's no DH. I actually get to use this archaic but very nostalgic piece of cardboard right here, a pitcher hitting card. So really I'm loving the fact that there's no DH in this game. I am kind of concerned that the Mets are so bad that this game can get out of hand, but that's just the way it is. So Mets and Cardinals from St. Louis. Larry Jackson, a right-hander, is on the mound against Roger Craig, a right-hander. This game was played April 11th, 1962. Hello, Ernest. The real score of the game, the actual score of the game was 11-4 Cardinals. And I'm thinking this final score might very well come close to that. Both pitchers do well at holding runners. Jackson a -3, and to go along with Oliver 0, he's a -3. Craig's a -5 to go with Landreth 0, he's a -5. So there you go. Hey Chuck, how you doing? In case you're curious, Chuck, Sparky Bowl Game 7 will be Sunday night. Sunday night, probably around, I'm saying close to probably between 9 and 9:30, something like that. Hello Ben, good to see you. I wanted to try to wait till RJL got finished as best I could. Brent, I did not. This sheet was given to me as a PDF file. If you send me your email or put your email in the comments or send me an email, whatever you want to do, I will be happy to email you a PDF copy. It's two-sided, and it's very, very nice. It's much better than the original score sheet B, which is, totally horrible. But that's just how that goes. But I will give you my email, and you can send me an email, and I will get it to you. And don't laugh, but I still use AOL.com. Like I said, I put the old in old school. So there you go. It's David, A as in Apple, 5205 at AOL.com. You send me an email to that email address. That goes for anybody. And I will shoot you over a PDF of this score sheet. It's two-sided, so when you print them, you want to print them out on both sides so that you can save some paper. And it prints out very nicely. Yes, Ben. Yes, I know it's archaic, but I don't use email that much, and I usually use texting and whatnot more than emails. So I just never got around to changing it. I do have a Gmail address. I just never use it. So it does get the job done. I can accept the emails. I can send emails. I can send attach. I can do anything I want to do with it, I guess. It's just how it is. What can I say? All right. And hopefully this turns out okay. I'm going to try something here. I don't know how well audio-wise it's going to work. But I do have the radio call of this game. It is on YouTube. And the legendary Bob Murphy is going to give us the starting lineups for both teams.
For the New York Mets, manager Casey Stengel will have Richie Ashburn in center field leading off. Felix Mantilla will be at shortstop, batting second. Charlie Neal at second base, batting third. Frank Thomas in right field, batting cleanup. Gus Bell in right field, batting fifth. Gil Hodges playing first base, batting sixth. Don Zimmer will be at third base, batting seventh. Hobie Landreth behind the plate. Hobie will bat eighth. Pitching and batting ninth, veteran right-hander Roger Craig. For the St. Louis Cardinals, and they feel they have a team that will be a strong contender for the National League pennant. Kurt Flood will be in center field leading off. Julian Javier at second base, batting second. Bill White will be at first base, batting third. In right field, batting cleanup, Stan the Man Musial. Ken Boyer will be at third base, hitting fifth. Manny Minoso in left field, batting sixth. Gene Oliver catching and batting seventh. Julio Gotay, G-O-T-A-Y. Gotay will be at short, batting eighth. Pitching and batting ninth, Larry Jackson.
All right, so just wanted to, I found that on YouTube. I wanted to try to get some Mets stuff to kind of get me in the mood, and I found that. So I figured, what the hey, that would be a good introduction to starting this ball game out. Do have St. Louis colored dice, as I try to get the home team the dice whenever possible, and it makes sense. So, hello, Mr. Lower Slower Board Gamer / Strat Delaware. I still call you Strat Delaware. I can't help it. It's just old habits never die. They never die. And when I did my unboxing the other day, I bought the 2024 set, which you guys saw when I played the Mets against the Braves on 2024. Here you see the 62 set. I also bought the 76 set. Now, there were rumors before I bought the 76 set that the 76 set was, shall we say, less than great card stock, thin card stock, cheap card stock. I've heard a lot of different adjectives. And when I got this set, my fears were confirmed. This is a little bit on the weak side. Now, it's not so bad that it can't be used, but it is a noticeable difference in the thickness of the paper. Now, it's still playable. I mean, I can still play with these and use these, and I don't see anything wrong with it. So, yeah, it might be a little flimsy, but it does what I want it to do. It's not as sturdy as the 62. There's a big difference between the 62 texture, and it's probably not showing up on the screen the way I want to, but this is much thicker than that. Even though really you can't, I guess it's really hard to tell on here, but on top of that, the 24 is thicker than the 62. So there's 3 different progressions of thickness of the cards. So you got the 76 also, Ben. All right. I don't see Brian B here, but I was going to mention to Brian B, since he doesn't like the rating that Inside Pitch gave the 76 Geronimo. They gave him a poor rating of a 2. Where 5 is best and 1's worst. They gave him a 2. Strat-O-Matic still cards him as a 1 with a -5 arm. And I believe Inside Pitch cards him as a 2 with a 0 arm. So you tell me who's right. Or are they going by reputation? I mean, I don't know. 76, I was 11 years old, so I can't say I was old enough to do analysis of it. I just remember that Geronimo has always been noted as having good arm and good range, but maybe in 76 he had a bad year. I don't know. I'm not going to diss Inside Pitch because I don't know. I don't have all the particulars on it. That's correct, and I do trust. I trust this. I trust this 10 times more than I trust the Inside Pitch ratings or the payoff pitch ratings or any other ratings, in my opinion. To me, they've got somebody left me a comment saying that there's no proof of all their research, but I'm telling you, it's research. All right. Just take it to the bank. They do all the research. They're not just blowing smoke. They have many, many faults, but research is not one of them. Hello there, Rear Admiral. I'm not sure what you mean by bench jockeys. You're talking about people with YouTube channels? I don't know. I haven't seen any. I'm surprised ID Jester hasn't commented on my Strat-O-Matic video that I did this morning, that I uploaded this morning, giving my good, bad, and ugly. He commented on my unboxing, but he didn't comment on anything else. But anyway, so it's my first endeavor in 1962. I was not born yet, so I know very little about these players except what I read in books and seen on interviews and highlight reels and so forth. So I have no idea how this is going to turn out. But I wanted an older season, and 62 was the season I chose to get. All right. So for the St. Louis Cardinals, Larry Jackson, 16 and 11. I'm not sure how well it shows up on the thing. Let's bring it up closer here. 16 and 11 for Larry Jackson, 1962. 3.75 earned run average. He will finish up the warm-up tosses. Again, the Cardinals won the game 11-4 real world. Got our Cardinal colored dice. And the first man to bat for the Mets is legendary Philly, Richie Ashburn. Now, one thing about the Mets was I was filling in their lineup. Boy, their defense is found wanting. I don't think I've ever seen a center fielder with a +3 arm. +3 arm in center field. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. They've got a 5 in left field in Thomas. He's a 5 with a +2 arm. Mantilla at short's a 4E34. That doesn't look good either. So there's some bad stuff here. Hodges is okay to 2E25 and Bell's okay to 3-1E5, but there are an awful lot of 4s and other items on there as well. Let me fill in the running rating for the pitchers. I had to look on the roster sheet and make sure they were not given an additional running rating. So they're going to stick with the standard 10 because they were not listed as having secondary run ratings. And as I said, no DH. So I've got the pitcher rating cards. Pitcher rating cards are ready to go. It's one of my first non-DH games in Strat since I don't know when. So very excited about that because I don't like the DH. Yeah, Yellow Tango. There you go. YOLO Tango. YOLO Tango. That was for Elio Chacon, I think. I heard ran into one of the outfielders when he was trying to say YOLO Tango, and nobody else spoke Spanish there or whatever. Hello, Colin, Robert, Ben, Grapes, all you guys. We're ready to go. First pitch of the. This is not a Mets replay, by the way. I'm just happened to pick a 1962 game just to get the set out and play with it. I'm going to go back to my 87 as usual and pick that up like I've been doing for that season replay because I don't want to miss a beat on that. I just wanted to get this out, and I figured this would be a nice game to play. All right, so Larry Jackson facing Richie Ashburn. We're underway. 1-2 for Richie Ashburn. He's going to walk, so the very first batter for the Mets in Strat-O-Matic existence is a walk to Richie Ashburn. Now, can Richie Ashburn get the lead? He can, but it's a -3 hold, so you'd be subtracting 5 from a successful lead, which would be a 1-10, 50% chance, but it's the Mets. You got to go for it, right? So 2 through 5, an 11 or a 12 will get him the lead. That's a 9. He does not get the lead, so moot point. He will stand pat. And here's the shortstop, Felix Mantilla. Hello, Kevin. Good to see you. Felix Mantilla. 6'6". Mantilla is a righty. 1-3 is a triple. 4-20 is a single. That's a single 2 stars. Runners on the corners. And how about those Mets? Runners on the corners. Nobody out. Larry Jackson, a little bit befuddled. Hello, Astros. Good to see you. They're going to play back for the double play. That will give it the run to get 2 outs. Here's Charlie Neal. First havoc roll. Nothing happening. Whoa, that one died, stayed on top of the tower and didn't fall through, so we're going to re-roll them again. 2-6, and that's a fly ball center field B ? So possible sacrifice fly. Center fielder Flood is a -1 arm. Ashburn's a 14. -1 would be a 13. So 1-13, he would make it. Anything else, he's going to be out. Do you risk it is the question. Do we risk it? Do they risk it? 1-13. They're the Mets. You got to risk it, right? 1 to 13. You got to go for it. And he's in there. Sacrifice fly. Casey Stengel being aggressive. Sacrifice fly to center field by Charlie Neal. Mets lead at 1 to 0 with 1 out and a runner at first. Hello, Tony. Good to see you. If you guys haven't had a chance to see the video I did about the good, bad, and ugly on Strat, you might want to check that out. And if you disagree with what I said, that's fine. I'm not looking for any fights or any arguments. I just gave my opinion, and the way I figured opinions most of the time are not wrong. I mean, it's your opinion. So, feel free to disagree and offer alternatives, whatever you want to do, or just whatever. But I just felt like I play Strat so much, I felt like I needed to put something out there to kind of say why I was so enthused with Strat. All right, here is Frank Thomas, not to be confused with the Big Hurt. It's a different Frank Thomas. All right, Frank Thomas, he's a 5 in left field. That ought to be interesting when he goes to play defense. 4-4. That's a ground ball third base X. We are looking at Ken Boyer. He's a 2E22, possible double play on a 2E22. But the double die comes up low again. 2 and a 4. 2 and a 4 is a G3 pound, but they were not holding Mantilla at first base because Mantilla does not run well at all. So the pound sign is irrelevant. And even if they were holding, the third baseman is not responsible. So the 2 and the 4 is a G3. So that means the runners are going to advance to second base at a minimum. Now we're going to check for an error. He is an E22. E22, he's got to avoid 12, 14, 15, 16, and 18. That's a 16. He did not avoid it. E22 and a 16 is a one-base error. So one-base error on Boyer. And that's going to put runners at first and second. First and second with 1 out. First and second, 1 out. And that will send up Gus Bell, better known as for playing for the Cincinnati Reds, also the father of Buddy Bell and grandfather of didn't Buddy Bell have a kid? I thought Buddy Bell had a kid that played. Maybe I'm confused, but I thought he did. Anyway, Gus Bell was a pretty popular Cincinnati Red back in the day. First and second, 1 out for Gus Bell. Infield looking for the double play. 3-3, and that's a ground ball first base C. So he grounds it to first, and Bill White's only play is to flip to Jackson covering, so both runners will move up to second and third now with 2 outs. David Bell, that's who I couldn't figure it out. Played for Seattle mostly, I think. I think he managed the Reds too, if I'm not mistaken. Might be the current manager of the Reds, for all I know. I don't follow modern baseball. I think he was managing the Reds at one point. Might still be. I don't know. But it's a trifecta of Gus Bell, Buddy Bell, and David Bell. There you go. All right, the venerable Gil Hodges. I'm sure he was brought on mainly to sell tickets in New York. So second and third, 2 down. Actually, not bad fielder, 2E25. Hit 252. Real world. Yeah, that's right. Tito Francona took over. Or Terry Francona, I should say. 2-5 is a strikeout. So Gil Hodges out on strikes. So Jackson gets out of it with just the 1 run. But hey, the Mets have a lead. You can't say that very often in 1962. That's for sure. They have given Roger Craig a lead. Roger Craig in 1962 was 10 and 24 with a 4.51 earned run average. Expect to see the Cardinals score early and often, as the real world game was 11-4. Here's Flood. 1-2, and that is a ground ball to third, handled by Don Zimmer, and there's 1 away. So we had a couple of future managers in this game. You've got You've got Don Zimmer and Gil Hodges. I don't know if anybody else managed. They may have. I don't know if Boyer ever managed or Ashburn ever managed. I don't think they ever did. I'm thinking these two were the man, and Roger Craig obviously was the manager. So you got 3 Mets players in the starting 9 that were managers. Kind of interesting. Baby, you got that right. Here's Julian Javier. It's a 4'11". He's a right-handed hitter. That's a ballpark single check, and singles are pretty good here at in St. Louis. I guess it's still Busch Stadium that they're playing in. I guess I'm not sure if it's Sportsman Park. I don't know. Remember what it was back in '62. 1-16. That's a 6. That's a base hit. I got the ballpark effects, but I didn't get the name. They don't have the name on there. They just have the ballpark effects. So there's somebody out there that follows 62 back in the day. Let me know if it was Sportsman Park or whether it was Busch Stadium. I don't recall which one it was. Not that it matters. It was just their home field. All right, so Javier, if he wants to try for the lead, it is a -5 hold for Craig. The Mets were, yes, but this game's in St. Louis, so I'm not sure where St. Louis was playing. Mets played in Polo Grounds. Hello, Dr. D. Good to see you. Julian Javier, if he wants to steal, it'd be a -7. The -5 for the pitcher catcher hold plus the -2 for being held. It'd be a 1-11. But it's the Mets, so they're going to try to get the lead anyway. 2-5 or a 12. It was in Busch Stadium. Okay, thank you. That's a 2. He gets the lead, so he's going to go. Javier's an 18. Being held is a 16. -5's an 11. 1-11. He will steal it. Now, Landreth, the catcher, has a T rating of 20. So if this is a 1, 2, or 3, it's an automatic throwing error. That's an 11. He's going to make it, and just barely, right on the number. He barely made it. Stolen base for Javier. As the shortstop, Mantilla, thought he got the tag down in time. Umpire says, no, you did not. And Javier has himself a stolen base. So St. Louis has a runner in scoring position with 1 out. The tying run here in the bottom of the first with 1 out, and they advance to Bill White. Bill White would later become a broadcaster, and I believe he was the National League president at one point too, if I'm not mistaken. My history going back that far is a little bit iffy, so I'm not a true historian going back that far. I know pretty much the 70s and 80s and 90s, but when I get to the 60s, I'm a little shaky. All right, here's Bill White. Oh, Ken Boyer did manage. Okay, so we got another manager. Thank you very much, Chuck. All right, havoc roll, nothing happening. Here's White. Javier is at second base. He is not being held. That's a 5-11, left-handed. 5-11, ground ball, first base X. First baseman is Gil Hodges. He's a 2E25. Nobody's being held, so they keep the 2. Double die comes up low again. 2 and a 5. This might be a ground ball C. Let's see here. 2 and a 5. Yep, it's a G3, which is a ground ball C. There's an asterisk, but nobody's being held. So it's just a ground ball. And when we check for error, Hodges has a high E rating of E25 for a first baseman. And this total is a 13. There's a 12, 11, 12, and 14, but no 13. So Hodges escapes the error. He will take it and flip to Roger Craig covering for out number 2. Going to third is Javier. So 2 down for Stan the Man Musial. This has to be his last season. This has to be his last season. Did I misread that? Was it a 14? Did I misread that? And it was an error then. E25. Wait a minute. Hold on. E25. Yep, it was a 14. You were correct. So let me get my correction tape out. Fix that. It is going to be an E3. 1 base error. So instead of 2 outs and a runner at third, we got runners on the corners. Bill White, not known for his speed. He will not be held. But we got Stan the Man Musial. Like I said, it's got to be, this has to be his last season. Still hit 330 with 19 home runs, but I'm thinking this was got to be just about his last season. Infield for the Mets playing double play depth. Nobody being held on. 2-9, and that's a walk. That's going to load the bases. So the bases are now loaded with 1 out for Ken Boyer. Double play still gets the Mets out of an inning if they can turn it. Next to last season. Okay, 63 was his last season. I knew he was getting down there. So bases loaded, 1 out. Infield back for the double play. Here's Boyer. 1-5, struck him out. So Roger Craig gets a big strikeout. 2 down for Minnie Minoso, left fielder. Clutch situation for him, and in the clutch, he will gain a hit on 3-4. Everything else he is neutral on. Whoa, we got hop and dice. We're going to re-roll. Try it now. 5-5. Ground ball, shortstop A. That's going to do it. So the Mets get out of it. Roger Craig pitches around the mistakes, and the Cardinals leave them loaded. Oh, thank you, Thomas. Like I said, I'm not an aficionado on the on going back that far. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get a season like this, was to learn about the older players. And also because of the expansion teams, because I love expansion teams. All right, here's Don Zimmer. He will lead things off against Larry Jackson. For 11, and that is a ground ball to second. Easy play for Javier. 1 away. Here's Hobie Landreth. I believe he later goes to the Orioles. I'm not sure. I think it was the Orioles he goes to. Goes to somebody. I know he gets traded somewhere. Here's Larry Jackson to Hobreth, 3-5, or Landreth rather, 3-5, and that's a ground ball to second. Javier will do it again. 2 down. And now's the moment I've been waiting for. The pitcher hitting card, no DH. I applaud just for that. Just for that, I applaud. No DH. Pitcher hitting card number 1 for Roger Craig. Obviously not a very good hitter. 3-5, and he will ground it to short to end the inning. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Larry Jackson. We go to the bottom of the second. Still 1-0 Metropolitans. But for how long, we shall see. For the Cardinals, it'll be Oliver Gotay and Larry Jackson, who uses pitch rating card number 2. Gene Oliver, the catcher. And some of these guys, most of these guys I know, but some of them I have no, like Gene Oliver, I have no clue. 5-2. That's a ballpark blast. I have a clue about that. He's got normal power. It is 1-8, and that's a 2. So I know about him now. He is gone. It is gone. Gene Oliver. He hit 14 home runs in 345 at bats, and he just hits one right here. And that puts the Cardinals on the board and ties the game. Gene Oliver, leadoff home run. Look at it again. 5-2 was a ballpark blast. Busch Stadium or Sportsman Park, whatever it's called, is an 8 for right-handers. He's got normal power. The evil D20 was a 2, so it fit, and Oliver homers. And the Met lead did not last very long. Here's Julio Gotay. If I didn't know it was pronounced Gotay, I would have said Gotay, but obviously it is pronounced Gotay, like rhyming with bow tie. 1-8 is a single, so Gotay will single. And now it's going to bring up the pitcher. And with the pitcher up, they're not going to send Gotay. They're going to hold him there. Larry Jackson is a 2-rated pitcher, but he's also a B bunter. So they're going to go for the bunt. The corners are going to come in, so he turns into a C bunter, but they still figure that's worth it with a pitcher up. So they're going to do a C bunt, sacrifice bunt. We'll roll the havoc, make sure there's no wild pitches or anything. There are not. So it's a C bunter. Larry Jackson is a C bunter. Let's see who fields it. 6 means it is fielded by the third baseman. That's Zimmer. Now, where does he have to play? He's a C bunter, so basically 8 or less, he's got a pretty good chance of getting on base. That's a 6, and that's defense. Okay, now let's see what defense says. Batter drops down a bunt, and the defense has the option of throwing the batter out at first or throwing for the lead runner. Well, the lead runner, Go-Tai, runs at a 15, so I think they're going to take the out here. They're going to take the Shore out and not risk. I would be the first out. They need outs. They can't afford to have first and second and nobody on. So sacrifice hit goes 5-4, and at second base now is Go-Tai. Here is Curt Flood. Runner not held on second. Here's Curt Flood. Flood grounded to third base his first time up. 1-9, and that's going to produce a run most likely. 1-5 is a triple. 6-20 is a single. That's a 3. It'll be an RBI triple for Curt Flood. So they're a double away from the cycle in this inning between all their batters. And 2 runs have come in. The Cardinals have stormed back to take a 2-1 lead, and the lead by the Mets did not last long as I suspected. So the triple by Flood. And now here's Javier. Infield is in with 1 out. 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball. We're looking at a pass ball. Landra's pass ball rating is a 9. He blocks it, so no pass ball. Infield is in. Craig, 2-4. That's a ballpark single check. It's a 1-16. That's an 11. It's a base hit. Another run will score. It's 3-1 Cardinals. 3-1 Cardinals. And I did some extensive research on Retro Sheet and looked at like the first week or so of box scores. So I got as many of the bullpen arms that were actually active this time of the opening day of the season and the pinch hitters for all the teams. So hopefully I've got just about everybody. Some of them weren't carded, but that's fine. Some of the marginal players. I think I have enough to get by, though. All right, here is Bill White. Now, Javier has a chance to steal. He stole a base his first time up. Got a chance to do it again. See if he can get the lead. He needs a 2-5 or a 12. 5, he got the lead. He's going to go again. 18, again, so 1-11 because 18 minus 2 for the 16, then the minus 5 is an 11. And he's in there again. Stolen base number 2 in 2 innings for Julian Javier. That puts him in scoring position. It takes away a chance of an inning-ending double play, except for a lineout. And Roger Craig in trouble. Here's Bill White. 3-8 for White is a ground ball second base B, and that'll get the runner to third base. 2 down. In advance, of course, that runner would have had to hold, but you know, in real baseball, when a ground ball goes to second, a runner on second is going to get to third. I don't think I've ever seen him not get to third on a ground ball, unless he's sleeping. All right, so 2 outs, a runner at third. Clutch situation for Stan the Man. And in the clutch, he loses a hit, ironically, on 3-2. Everything else, he is neutral. So Stan the Man is up. Nothing on the Havoc. 5-9, left-handed, is a ground ball to second. Nice play, turned in by second baseman Neal, and the inning is over. But 3 runs come across the plate for the Cardinals, and at the end of 2, they lead the Mets 3-1. And now reality might be setting in on the Mets. They had a good time for the first inning, and that was about it. Back to the top of the order, Richie Ashburn will lead it off. And he walked and scored his first time up. 6-10, left-handed. That's a ballpark single check, and that's going to be a base hit for Richie Ashburn. So the ballpark beneficial for the Cardinals now becomes beneficial for the Mets. Ashburn did steal 12 bases, got caught 7 times. Down 3-1, I think they're going to hold him. They'll hold him on, but he won't go anywhere. And here is Mantilla. 1-8 for Mantilla. That is a ground ball pitcher B, so it's back to Jackson. The only play is a force play to Javier for the fielder's choice. And Mantilla takes over as the new runner. He will not be held. Does not run well. And here comes Charlie Neal. Has sacrifice fly his first time. 6-10. And that is a ballpark single check again. 1-16. That's a base hit. Base hit will move Mantilla to second base. So first and second with only one out for the non-big hurt Frank Thomas. Although he did have 34 home runs in 1962, so maybe he was big hurt before the big hurt. His batting average 266, but the 34 homers do stand out. Why else would he be playing with such bad defense? He has to make up for it with offense. 6-11, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. He also makes up for it with a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. So the rally killed. Maybe he needed some Nugenics to help him out, but he didn't get any back in 1962. They might have had some other kind of drugs or something going on back then, but no Nugenics, no steroids. Might have had greenies or whatever they called those things back in the day. So Ken Boyer will lead things off. It'll be Boyer, Minoso, and Oliver against Roger Craig. It's a 5-10, and that's a ground ball third base X. That's Don Zimmer. 3-26 for Zimmer. Can Zim field it? 3-17, he catches a break. That's a high number. That's what he needed. Now we're just checking for the error. 3-17, just to be official, is a G1. Third base error rating 26. Has to avoid 10, 11, 15, and 17. That is a 10. So he didn't. It's one of the rare times where 10 is an error. You don't see many 10s in the error block, but it's here. And he found it, just like the New York Mets would do. He found it. It's a one base error on Don Zimmer. Second error of the game on the Mets. Unbelievable. I didn't even know there were any 10s on the sheet, period, but it is a 10 sitting right here under E26, and we found the 10. So just when you think it can't get worse for the Mets, it does. So Boyer is aboard. He will be held. He won't go anywhere. Here's Minnie Minoso. That's a 3-9, and that is a foul out to first as Hodges roams into foul territory to make that catch. One away for Gene Oliver. Oliver homered his first time up. Brown announced his presence with authority. 2-8. This time he strikes out. So this time Roger Craig announces his presence with authority. A little payback. 2 down for Julio Gotay. That's a 5-4, and that's a catcher X. So we're going to Landreth. He's a 4-E9. Not very good. 4-20, though. He catches a break. How about that? What a break that was. A 4 and a 20 for a catcher is going to be a G2. That's a 10. His error rating is a 9. There is no 10, so it's a G2. But that's the third out of the inning. That's all they needed was this 2-3 ground out. And that will take care of it. So the leadoff error does not come back to bite them. We go to the fourth. It's still 3-1 Cardinals. It'll be Gus Bell, Gil Hodges, and Don Zimmer due up. Five, 6 against the lefty. It's a fly to center. Kurt Flood is there. One away. And that will send us to Gil Hodges. 2-6 against the lefty is a strikeout plus injury. Now, I didn't say before the game started if I was going to do injuries or not. I kind of hate to do injuries in a game like this. Let's see who the Mets have to play first base. If we had to go, if I decided to do that, who would they bring in to play first base? That's the question. That's the question. All right. They have, and I don't know any of these players hardly, Rod Cannell, I guess. I definitely don't know the pronunciations. Jim Hickman, I know him. Heard of him. Chris Cannizzaro, I've heard of him. Elio Chacon, he's the YOLO Tango. And Ed Boucher, Boucher. Hello, Justin. Boucher, I'm guessing is how you pronounce that. Maybe it's Bucci, like Uchi Gucci Bucci, or is it Boucher? I don't know. Keneal. I don't know what you mean by Keneal, Chuck. Oh, this guy, Keneal. Okay, I've forgotten about him already. All right, I'm going to take Dr. D's advice. The Mets are so bad, they don't need to have injury to their insult. So we're going to let Hodges stay in the game. It is a strikeout, which is bad enough. So we're going to say he shrugs it off, stays in the game. Larry Jackson, Boucher. Okay, thank you. Larry Jackson has 2 strikeouts. He's gotten Gil Hodges twice. Now here's Zimmer. 110 for Zimmer, ground ball to second. And again, Javier is on the spot. And Larry Jackson seems to have settled in since that hiccup in the first inning. Seems to be doing quite well. Roger Craig back out will face the pitcher, Larry Jackson. No bunting this time because he's leading off. Using pitcher rating card number 2, Larry Jackson. That's a 6-7. We're coming off Craig's card. Jackson is a right-handed batter. 1-11 is a single. That's a 9. So how about that? Larry Jackson gets a base hit off the pitcher card. So base hit Jackson, he will not be held. He runs at a 10 because the roster sheet did not give him an alternate run rating. So by default, he runs as a 10. Here's Curt Flood. He is grounded out and tripled. Craig looking for the double play. 5-7. Won't get it here. 1-2 is a triple. 3-20 is a single. Single 2 stars. So Jackson will take third. And Curt Flood will be held but won't go anywhere. Javier the batter. Runners at the corners. 3-1. They're going to play back for the double play. They got to get some outs. They don't trust playing in. Or do they? No, you know what? They're going to play in. Change your mind. They're going to play in. Casey Stengel flashes a sign at the last minute saying play in. That's what they're going to do. 6-5. Well, it's not going to matter. Look at this. 1-12 is a home run. That's an 8. And does he have normal power? Yes, he does. Julian Javier, a 3-run bomb. He says play in all you want. 6-5, a 1-12 home run. He's got normal power. That's an 8. 3-run home run for Julian Javier. And now the Met bullpen is active as Roger Craig has given up 6 runs. And I don't usually keep a pitcher in this long when he gives up this many runs, but of course, I don't usually play the older seasons either. So I think by rule he is fatigued. Let me check the rule book again. Like I said, I don't usually let them. If they get that bad, I usually pull them before they get that bad. But let me take a quick look here. The starting pitcher gives up 5 runs in 1 inning, 6 runs in any 2 consecutive innings. Okay, so 6 runs in 2 consecutive innings. No, these are not consecutive innings, so he's not tired, I guess, by rule. No fatigue. But we're still going to get the bullpen up just because of ineffectiveness. So this is who they have in the bullpen. They've got a right-hander, and I remember him from the Reds mostly. I think he was with the Reds, Jay Hook. They have another right-hander, Bob Miller. They have another right-hander, which I'm not sure how to pronounce this. I think it's Daviault. I guess I would go with Daviault if I had to pronounce that. Let's see. Another right-hander in Craig Anderson. Another righty in Bob Moorhead. And then 2 lefties, Ken McKenzie and Al Jackson. So those are your guys that they have in the bullpen. And actually, Al Jackson's more of a starter. I think he's going to start in a couple days, so I'm not going to consider him. But some of the other guys I'll consider. All right, so Bill White, your batter. It is now 6-1 favor of the Redbirds. 2-7, and that's a single. And the hit parade continues. Here is Stan Musial. White not being held. Musial 0 for 1. 6-8 left-handed is a 1 single. Anything else he grounds to first for the fielder's choice, 3-6. And that's the first out of the inning. Musial at first with 1 out. And here's Ken Boyer. 2-11. And that's a ballpark blast for Ken Boyer. 1-8. That's a 3. It's gone. A 2-run bomb for Ken Boyer, and that's going to be it for Roger Craig. Even though he hits second next inning, we may have to do a double switch just to get a reliever in there to pitch a little bit longer. But Ken Boyer, a 2-run home run, a 2-11 ballpark blast, 1-8, and that's a 3. It is gone. And Roger Craig is gone from this game. Casey Stengel shaking his head, takes that slow walk to the mound. A 4-score inning for the St. Louis Cardinals. They now lead it by the score of 7-1. And Roger Craig will head to the showers. We will have a double switch. Let's see who's going to come out of the game. The last man to bat was Zimmer. So might go to a third baseman here, possibly, or maybe Bell was a right. I hate to take Bell out. He's the only good, decent fielder they have. Boy, it's got some bad stuff here. Can he play third? Yes, but he's terrible. He's a 4E65, so I'm not putting somebody at a 4E65 out there. Boy. I want to do a double switch, but I don't want to take anybody out. That's the problem. You know what? I'm going to bring in a pitcher just to get out of the inning and then not worry about the double switch. I think that's the best way to handle this. So I'll go to somebody that's got very low fatigue ratings. Most of these pitchers have 3 and 4 fatigue ratings as relievers. So let's see. I'll go with this guy. Like I said, I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm going to call it Daviault, but it can be pronounced any way you want it, because I don't know. But that's who we'll go with. His job is just to get out of the inning, then they'll pinch hit for him in the top of the 5th. So Craig's going to go 3 1/3. Give up 7 runs. All of them were earned. How many hits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hits. And out of those 10 hits, 3 were home run. 4 were home run. No, 3 were home runs. My bad. 3 were home runs. He walked 1. I think that's his only walk was Musial. And he struck out 2. Not the best line in the world for Roger Craig. Hello, Robert. So the Mets, Roger Craig gets knocked out. That 2-run home run by Boyer makes it now 7-1. And that 1-0 lead in the first inning by the Mets has gone by the wayside clearly. And here is Minnie Minoso. 2-9 for Minoso, struck him out. So Daviault, or however it's pronounced, struck him out. 1 away. Here's Gene Oliver. That's a 6-12, and that's a walk. And now the 9th man to bat in the inning, Julio Gotay, steps to the plate. Oliver not going to be held. Please get Gotay out. I hate moving the innings over on a bat around, so I'd prefer if they didn't do that. That's a 1. His wild pitch ratings of 15. It's a 19, so it's blocked by Landreth. So here's Gotay. 4-8, and that's a 1-6 single. 17 though, so mercifully it's a ground ball to third to end the inning. They only send 9 to the plate, not 10, but it's a 4-score Abraham Lincoln inning, and they lead it now 7-1. They won the real game 11-4, real world. So this game has all the makings of getting up to that score without too much trouble. And Larry Jackson back out in cruise control at the moment. Davio, is that how we're going to pronounce it? Davio? Okay, I'll go with that. I don't know, Chuck, so I'm just guessing. I'll take your word for it. I have no idea. All right, we're going to have Hobie Landreth in a pinch hitter for Davio. Sounds like Fabio almost, the Davio. Let's see who they're going to bring in. So Davio pitched 2/3 of an inning, a walk and a strikeout, nothing else. And the Mets will go to their bullpen. And let's see who they want to. Well, first of all, they'll go to their bench. Then they'll go to their bullpen. Let's see who they might want to go to here. They're going to go to Ken McKenzie. I'm sorry, he's a lefty. I don't want to do that. I want to go to a righty, not a lefty, because there's righties coming up. So, boy, a lot of these guys are starters, so I don't know when they started or when. I'm going to go with Craig Anderson. Craig Anderson, he had 14 starts and 4 saves. I don't believe he pitches in the next couple of days as a starter, so I think I can use him. It's a +6 hole, but I doubt that's going to come into play with the score being what it is. But Craig Anderson will be the new pitcher. But we need a hitter. We got Hobie Landreth leading off, and then we need a pinch hitter. So who's a lefty on the bench they could go to that's any good? They will go to Jim Marshall. And they hope he doesn't run the wrong way around the bases if he gets a hit. So Jim Marshall will pinch hit here in the 5th. But first things first, Hobie Landreth will hit. So it's Landreth, Marshall, and Richie Ashburn due up for the Mets. He's Canadian. Okay. Hey, Utah Mike, that might be coming at some point. I just felt like with the 62 season, the 62 Mets were the team to christen my first chance to play the 62 set. So that's what I went with. 6-9 for Jackson against Hobie Landreth. Struck him out. Hobie is gone. Obi-Wan Kenobi is gone. Here's Jim Marshall. That's a 5-10, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Gotai. He's a 4E40. That's not too good for a shortstop. 4 and a 4. That's going to be a base hit. Might be an error added on to it, but it's at least going to be a base hit. 4 and a 4 is a single. And now we go to the shortstop as an E40, and that's an 11. E40, there's an 11 right there, so it's a single plus an error. Worst of both worlds right there. Single plus the E6 on Gotai, and Marshall will take second base. He doesn't run well, but they're down 7-1, so he's not going to be looking to run anyway. And now here is Richie Ashburn. Ashburn's walked and singled and scored the only run of the game for the Mets. 6'2", left-handed. Ground ball pitcher X. He is a 2E17. 2E17. 2 and a 3. What is the Devil Dodge has been awful in this game. 2 and a 3. 2 and a 3 is a G3. He'll get to it. But will he make an error? That's a 13, and he is an E17. E17, there's an 11 and a 12, but no 13, so he catches a break there. His only play will be to first base. Going to third will be the pinch hitter, Marshall. But now they're a 2-way for Felix Mantilla. It's a 5-7. 5-7, right-handed, is a ground ball second base expert, Javier. He's a 3E20. 3 and a 10, he'll get to that. E20 for a second baseman, and that's a 17. That can be bad combination there. Those high numbers can be bad. E20 and a 17, that's a 2-base error. E20 and a 17 is a 2-base error on Javier, and that will score the run. So 2 errors in the inning for the Cardinals. This one's a 2-base error on Javier. And now 3 errors by the Cardinals. And it looks like 2 errors on the Mets so far. So that's going to make it 7-2 with Mantilla at second and Charlie Neal the batter. Whoa, hopping dice. Let's re-roll that again. 111, and that's going to be a ground ball to first C. So again, we'll call it a 3-1 put out to end the inning. And that's going to do it. End of the inning. And new pitcher for the Mets, right-hander Craig Anderson. And he'll be facing Jackson to lead off the inning using pitcher hitting card number 2. Hello, Fact Sports. Good to see you. Anderson, 3-6 to Jackson is a ground ball to short. 1 away. And that takes us to the top of the order, and Kurt Flood. Flood is 2 for 3, single and a triple, 2 runs scored. 6-8, and that's a strikeout. So Anderson comes in and strikes out Flood for out number 2, brings up Julian Javier, 2 outs, bases empty. This could be the first 1-2-3 inning for the Mets. 4-4. Ground ball third base X. We're looking at Zimmer. So 3-E-26. For double die comes up again. 3-1. I got to do something with these double dies. I don't care what color I use. It comes up as a low number all the time. Ones come up more than anything else. It's more than 5%. It's documented. Single 2 stars. We'll check for an error. That's a 9. And Zimmer's a 26. And we had the 10 last time. This time a 9 is not going to be an error. So it will just be a single for Javier. And up 7-1, they will not try to steal. Javier's got 2 steals already, but he won't try it now. Javier 4 for 4, 3 singles and a home run. Doing very, very well. I don't know if I call it garbage, Mike, but it's definitely inferior. I'll put it that way. You think you get a lot of errors on Super Advanced? Try Advanced. That's where you get the errors, in my opinion. All right, but everybody has their own opinion. That's the beauty of the whole thing. Play the game you want to play. You want to play basic? Play that. Hey, I'm not mad at you. 3-9 for Bill White, and that's a ground ball to first. And Hodges will take it to the bag himself to end the inning. So it's not a 1-2-3 inning, but it is a 0 on the board, which is a relief for the Mets. We go to the 6th. It is still 7-1 Cardinals, as they are enjoying opening day at the Mets' expense and Casey Stengel's expense. Jackson back out. His fatigue is an 8, so he can, to coin a phrase by Ric Flair, he can go all night long. Or oh shoot, what's it? I just had his name in my mind now. I can't think. Lionel Richie. Yeah, he did a song called All Night Long. All right, here is Charlie Neal. Oh, Charlie Neal made the last out last time. It's actually Frank Thomas leading off. Frank Thomas will lead it off. That's a 5-3. Fly ball left field X. That is going to be Minoso. He's a 3-E-7. And the double die comes with 1 again. I'm telling you, it's rigged. I don't know what causes it, but it's weight. If there's a weight in there that causes it to happen. 3-1's a double. So that's a double for Frank Thomas. Minoso an E7, and that is a 15. That could be trouble too. And it is. It's a 2-base error, so he's going to score a run. Look at that. 15 right here on E7 is a 2-base error. That's the 4th error by the Cardinals in this game. So a double plus the E7 will score the run. How about that? Frank Thomas scores. It's 7-3. Here's Gus Bell. 6-4. And that's a walk. Gus Bell will walk, and that'll bring up Gil Hodges. Cardinals got to figure out what in the world's going on here. We're making too many errors. Oh, that didn't. The white die didn't go through, so I'm going to re-roll this. 6-7. He's right-handed. That's a 1-17 single, but that's a 19, so that's going to be a ground ball to second for a fielder's choice. 4-6. One away for Hodges to be on first base, and here's Zimmer. He's grounded to Javier twice. Javier twice. Let's see, 6-7. And that's, again, a 1-17 is a single. That's a 12. It'll be a base hit. Only one star. So runners at first and second. Hello, Fainer 27. This is Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced 1962. First ever New York Met game. And here's Hobie Landreth. 1 out and 2-1. Whoops. Jackson to Landreth. That's a 2-9, and Landreth fly ball left field. That's out number 2. And now we'll need a pinch hitter for Craig Anderson, as we got to the pitcher spot already. So Craig Anderson will leave. He's going to go 1 inning, and he's going to give up 1 hit, nothing else. Oh, he did get a strikeout. Take that back. He did have a strikeout. All right, we'll go to the bench rather, and see who they might want to use as a pinch hitter. The only lefty they have remaining is Ed Boucher. He's a 161 hitter, so we're not using him. 248. We got a 245. So, yeah, we're between 248 and 245. Not good either way. We'll go with Jim Hickman. Not because I want to, but just out of necessity. Best they have at 248 as an average. So Jim Hickman will pinch hit. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Hickman, 5-3. Fly ball left field X. That is going to again be Minoso, 3-7. Last time he committed he allowed a double and committed a 2-base error because the stupid double die came up as a 1. 6, that's not much better. He may not get to this. 3 and a 6. 3 and a 6, he does not get to it. It's a single 2 stars. That'll score another run, as Hodges will score. Going to third is Zimmer on the single. And now we're checking for an error. That's an 11. He's an E7. There is no 11 this time. Thank goodness for him. They did not commit the error. So, but it is an RBI single. 2 runs are in. All of a sudden, it's 7-4, and we got a little bit more interesting game. All this with 2 outs, and now here's Richie Ashburn. 3-5 for Ashburn. 1-11 is a single. That's a 6. It's a single 1 star. It's enough to score the runner from third. 3 runs are in. It's 7-5. So already the Mets have exceeded their run total from the game. Let's see. 3-5 was a single 1 star. So the runner Hickman can only go to second. 2 outs. It's now 7-5. The tying runs are on base. Felix Mantilla steps to the plate. Now the Cardinal bullpen starting to see some activity. That's a 5-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're going back to Gotai, who's a 4E40. That's no prize. 4E40 has already committed 1 error. 4-15, he catches a break there, but we don't know about the 40. 4-15 is a G2. E40, and that is a 12. E40, there's an 11, 15, 16, and 18, but no 12. So Gotai wraps this one up and ends the inning, but 3 runs come across, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. It is 7-5. It's not all Jackson's fault. As Robert notes, the 4 errors have not helped his cause at all. Now we need a new pitcher. Do the Mets. And let's see who they might want to bring in. Coming up for the Cardinals, it is Musial, Boyer, and Minoso, lefty and 2 righties. Let's see who they might want to go to here. They're going to Bob Miller. It's Miller time here in St. Louis. Miller time in Bush territory. He's invading. So Bob Miller is on to pitch here in the bottom of the 6th. He'll be facing Musial, Boyer, and Minoso. 7-5, bottom of the 6th. 6-7, left-handed. Ground ball, second base, X. We are looking at Neal, 3E26. 3 and a 4, double die comes up low again. Low man on totem pole again. 3 and a 4 is a base hit. And a 13 to a E26. There's a 13 right there, so it's a single plus an error. So that's the 3rd error on the Mets. It's a single plus an error on Neal, and it's Neal. For Neal, that is, let's see here, is that his first? That's his first error. So we've had an error all the way around the horn on the infield, except for the shortstop. So Mantilla is the only infielder. We got an error at first, error at second, and error at third. So Musial's at second with nobody out. And that's a 1-5 for Boyer against the right-hander. That's a strikeout. Boyer out on strikes. Brings up Minnie Minoso. He's 0 for, out of all these hits and all this offense, he's 0 for 3. He's definitely due. 5-12, and that's a ground ball, third base X. Going to Don Zimmer, 326. And the double die comes up with 1 again. I can't explain it. It's a phenomenon that only happens to me, and I don't know why. I'm cursed with the D20. I may have to go back and get those little pieces of, those little, whatever they call those things, those 20 little ticket looking things that you flip, because this D20 just ain't working. So that's a single, 2 stars, and that will score the run. Now we're going to check for an error. Let's see. Zimmer. Now I forget who. I think it was that a ground ball to third? I think it's a ground ball to third. Pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was a ground ball to third base X. All right, so third base, Zimmer is a 26. That's a 16. No 16, so it's not going to be an error, but it will be a base hit. Split deck. Thank you, Justin. I was trying to think of the name for that, but maybe I ought to go to that, because you've seen here how many times this has come up 1 in the last 2 innings. Every time I do a defensive check, it comes up as a 1 or something very, very low. So RBI single. Since there's no error on the play, you got to give an RBI single. It is now 8-5. And here's Gene Oliver. 6-5, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. We're going to Mantilla, 4E34. That's no prize either. And 11, that's a little bit better. 4 and 11, they might actually get a fielder's choice out of this. 4 and 11 is a G3, so not even a fielder's choice, it's runner advance. So the runner is going to make second base automatically on the ground out. That's an 8, and he's an E34. E34, there is no 8, so it's a good play other than the runner advancing. So 6-3 for out number 2. And here's Julio go tie. First base is open. So they're going to walk go tie and pitch to the pitcher, Jackson. So Jackson will hit with runners at first and second and 2 away. One's possible wild pitch on Miller. He's a 17. And again, he's a wild pitch. That 1 came up again for a wild pitch. Puts runners at second and third. Miller 3-7, and that's a ground ball to second to end the inning. 1 run is in, and with all the other offense that they had there, I still think that's an unearned. Well, the wild pitch might have made that earned, would have probably made that earned. So I'm thinking that counts as an earned run because of the wild pitch. That's what I'm thinking. Not that it matters at this point. What matters is 8-5. That's what matters. Larry Jackson back out will face Neil, Thomas, and Bell. Neil, Thomas, and Bell. Your batter or your hitters for the Mets. 4-3. Fly ball right field X. There are a lot of X chances on these older seasons, apparently. In my 87 replay, I don't get this many X chances. But in the older games, I guess to simulate extra errors with bad fielding, they have to do the X checks. So fly ball right field X. We're looking at Musial. He's a 4E6. So this could drop in for a hit. 4 and a 15. Might get to it. 4 and a 15. He does. The error rating is a 6, and that is a 12. There is no 12, so actually Stan Musial will make the play. 1 down. Charlie Neal is retired. Here's Frank Thomas. 6-8, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. Go Ty will handle it. 2 down. Or Gus Bell. And right now, the 2024 White Sox are saying, bring on these Mets. We can handle them. 6-6, and that's a 1-6 triple. 7-20 is a single. That'll be a triple for Gus Bell. He did have 3 triples real world, so we'll let him have it. We'll let him keep it. Won't reduce it to a double. And here's Gil Hodges, 2 outs and a runner at third. They get the run across and get right back in this game, make it 8-6. 3-5, and that's a walk. So now the tying run is coming to the plate, and Don Zimmer. If he hits a home run, it would tie the game, but he has very little power. You have to hit a 3-2 to get a home run out of this. Only way to do it is on a 3-2. Got a 5-6 instead, and he grounds to short, where Gotai will make the play and end the inning. Nothing doing for the Mets. We go to the 7th inning stretch. I'm going to forego the music because this game is getting long and I want to get through it. So I'll forego the music for now in this game and go right on to the bottom of the 7th. Kurt Flood, Julian Javier, and Bill White, your scheduled hitters, against Bob Miller in his 2nd inning of work. But his relief rating for fatigue is a 4. But he bats 2nd next inning, so this will be his last inning. Flood, 3-4. Ground ball right back to Miller for out number 1. That'll bring up Javier. He is 4 for 4, 3 singles and a home run. 6-2. 1-7 is a single on a split chance. That's a 10, so he will line it to short. And his perfect day at bat is over. First time he's been retired. And that'll bring up Bill White. 3-8 for White is a ground ball to second, and that is the very first 1-2-3 inning of the game turned in by the Mets. And Bob Miller gets it. So close the book on Miller as he is done. He goes 2 innings. And again, I'm going to say this run is earned because of the wild pitch. I think he would have scored on the wild pitch even without the error. Because the single would have put him to third and the wild pitch would have scored him. So that's going to be considered earned. Gave up 2 hits, 1 run, which was earned, walked 1, which was intentional, struck out 1. All right, so he will be needing a pinch hitter in his place again. This will be the fatigue inning for Larry Jackson. 8 is his fatigue inning. It'll be Landreth, a pinch hitter, whoever that might be. The bench is getting a little bit shaky now for the Mets. Best they have is Chris Cannizzaro. He's their backup catcher. They just don't have much. I'm going to play percentages even though he's terrible and use Ed Boucher because I'm thinking he's a lefty and that's what that's what Casey would do, because Casey was very big in platooning. So we're going to bring in Boucher to pinch hit for Miller after Hobie Landreth bats. So Hobie Landreth will lead things off. He's 0 for 3. No, Choo Choo Coleman was not on the opening day roster. He didn't come along till later. 4-11. 4-11 for Jackson is a ground ball to second, and easy play made by Javier. One away, and here comes Ed Boucher, the pinch hitter. The pinch hitting spot has been good for the Mets. Single here, single here. So the two pinch hitters, Marshall and Hickman, both got hits. See if Boucher can continue. 3-2. He does not. He grounds it to Javier again, 2 down. And that'll take it to Richie Ashburn. We'll go ahead and relieve Larry Jackson after this, I imagine. 6-8 left-handed, ground ball to second. So Javier gets all 3 ground outs to end the inning. And Larry Jackson will finish on a high note. Larry Jackson's going to go 8 innings. He's going to give up 5 runs. Let's see. That run ends up being earned because of the following singles, so that's an earned run. This is an unearned run, so he gives up 5 runs, 4 earned, the way I have it calculated. Could be wrong. I'm doing this on the fly, so I could make a mistake with that. Let's see here. Single, sacrifice fly. Before the error came around, he scored already, so that run was earned. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got him for 9 hits. Walks. He didn't walk that many. He walked 1 here. 1 here, that's 2. And he walked Ashburn to lead the game off. That's 3. So I've got him for 3 walks. Strikeouts. He struck out Hodges twice, but he didn't strike out anybody else except for Landreth once. So I think he got 3 strikeouts to go with his 3 walks. So that's the final tally on Jackson. We'll find somebody to pitch the top of the 9th for the Cardinals. Figure out who that's going to be. Right now, we need somebody to pitch the bottom of the 8th for the Mets. And they're going to have to deal with Stan Musial, Ken Boyer, and Minnie Minoso. So who is going to pitch is the question. They will go with Bob Moorhead. For no other reason than he was the first card I picked up. How's that for strategy? It is technically, if the Cardinals do not score this inning, it would be a save situation for the relief pitcher. So maybe look at the Cardinal relief pitching core. See who they have. Lindy McDaniel had 14 saves, so he might be like the quote-unquote closer. Anderson had 1 save. 1 save for Sadecki. So I'm thinking Lindy McDaniel is going to come on and pitch for the Cardinals in the 9th. Save situation or no, they're going to go ahead and use Lindy McDaniel regardless. So McDaniel going to come in to pitch the 9th for the Cardinals. He's a +2 hole, but don't know if that's going to make that much of a difference. So Stan Musial will lead off the bottom of the 8th against Moorhead. 8-5. Mets staying in the game a little bit closer than they did real world. 1-11, and as soon as I say that, we get a ballpark blast for Stan Musial. It is a 1-14, but that's a 15. Boy, the Mets caught a break. Deep fly right field. Gus Bell at the track makes the catch. 1 away. Here is Ken Boyer. Moorhead caught a break there. 2-7, and that's a ground ball to short. 2 down, and that brings up Minoso. Minnie Minoso. That's a 4-7, and that's a 1-6 single. That's a 3, so again, base hit. They will hold him on because he could get a free chance to steal with a 20 if they didn't. So they will hold him on, and actually Minoso will try for the lead. He needs a 6. And he gets the 6. How about that? That gives him a 20. That makes him a 20, which means he's going to be automatic. The only way he's out is on a 20. And in fact, with him being a T20 throwing error, they're just going to eat the ball and let him steal second base. It's pointless to try. It's only 5% chance he's going to be thrown out. And if you roll a 1, 2, or 3, it's an automatic error. So they got to let that go. Here's Oliver. 5-5, and that's trouble. In home run chance 1 to 10. He does have normal power. That's a 7. It is gone. Gene Oliver, a home run. In fact, it's his second home run of the game. Look at it again. 5-5 on Moorhead is a 1 to 10 home run. He's got normal power, and that's a 7. 2-run bomb. It is no longer a save situation. But they're going to bring in McDaniel anyway because he was the one warming up. So 2 more runs come in, and it is now 10-5, which is not that far from the 11-4 real world score, if you're into such things. Here's Go Ty, and if Go Ty reaches, we'll get a pinch hitter for Jackson. 1-6, and he's going to ground to short to end the inning. So Moorhead pitches 1 inning, gives up 2 hits and 2 runs, and no walks, no strikeouts. So 10-5 ball game, and we go to the top of the 9th for Lindy McDaniel. Coming up for the Mets will be Mantilla, Neal, and Thomas, and they have nobody better on the bench, I assure you. McDaniel 3-4. Mantilla on a 3-4. Look at this. 1 to 14 is a home run, but that's a 15. It's still going to get a triple out of it. So Mantilla gets a triple to lead off. I know this is not the right game for it, but there could be 9th inning magic. McDaniel now facing Neal. Infield, of course, back. They don't care about that run. 6-6 for McDaniel, and that's a 1-2 single. Anything else, they ground to third. That's a 20. It's a ground ball to third B, but with the infield back, the run's going to score. Neal will score, and it is now 10-6. Real game 11-4. This game right now 10-6. 1 away, and here's Frank Thomas. Bases cleared. 3-8 for Thomas, and that's a single. That'll send up Gus Bell. 4-9 for Bell. In home run chance 1 to 10. That's a 7. It is gone. Gus Bell, a 2-run home run. And what are you looky here now? It's 10-8. A 10-8 ball game. McDaniel may need relief. He's not getting anybody out. They're going to go to the bullpen or look at the bullpen again with the Cardinals. It's now 10-8. And how about that? Gus Bell's got a home run and a triple. Couldn't get the single and a double, but he got a home run and a triple. So now who do they go to? They're going to look to, let's see, who's coming up? Hodges, Zimmer. Boy, the right-handers just don't look too good in their bullpen. Oh, they go this guy either way. McDaniel's going to be pulled, and Ed, I guess it's pronounced Bada. 1-0 with a 5.01 ERA and a save in 32 innings of pitching. So McDaniel couldn't get it done. He goes a third of an inning, gives up 3 runs and 3 hits and 3 runs all earned. And now Ed Bada, I guess it's pronounced Bada. Good enough for me. All right, so Gil Hodges is up. 3 runs in. It's now 10-8. With only 1 out, and Hodges is your batter. 2-11 is a ground ball to first, and that's going to be the second out of the inning. So Don Zimmer, the last chance, if he can reach, the tying run would come to the plate. But Bada is looking for the save to close it out, to close out a 10-8 victory. That is a 5-9. Zimmer right-handed. Ground ball shortstop X. Of course, we're going to possibly end on an X chance for another possible error to an E40, 4E40 shortstop. 4 and a 9. Probably will get to that. 4 and a 9 he does, but the E40, and that is a 12. E40, there's an 11, but no 12. So good play by Gotai, and the game is finally over. 3 runs in the 9th for the Mets. A 10-8 victory by the Cardinals. Bada goes 2/3 of an inning. He will get the save. The win to Jackson, the loss to Roger Craig. 2/3 of an inning, nothing else happening. So for the Mets, 8 runs on 12 hits, and they committed 3 errors. Cardinals, 10 runs on 15 hits, and they committed 4 errors. Winning pitcher Jackson, losing pitcher Craig. Ed Bada with the save. Bada must be smooth because he's on a roll with that. Bada gets the save. Player of the game. Boy, who would you give the player of the game to? Could give it to, I guess you give it to Oliver. He had 2 home runs. He got the home run that tied the game in the 2nd, and his 2-run homer in the 8th provided the difference in victory. We'd be looking at 8-8 right now without his 2-run homers. So we're going to give the player of the game to the catcher, and I don't know anything about him, Gene Oliver. In the 62 season, he had 258, 14 home runs, 45 runs batted in a 345 at bats. 2 of these 14 home runs just came in this game. So Gene Oliver is your player of the game. And there are your 62 Mets. Very interesting to play them and the Cardinals both in the 62. I don't know if the whole season is like this with all these, we're going to start getting high amounts of errors per game. I don't know. Yeah, Ernest, I don't know if critique's the right word for it or not. It's more of an explanation of what I'd like and don't like about it, but overall it is a positive, a pro Strat-O-Matic video for sure. Now I don't hold back, and I do talk about things I don't like. And that's where the good, bad, and the ugly comes in. I talk about the ugly just as much as I talk about the good. But anyway, so that was kind of fun, a little bit different. Like I said, I love this. First game, I didn't have the DH in a long, long time. It's well overdue for me, and I'm loving it. So I will play a game from 76 at some point, just to use that set and get. I've got them all in the envelopes and everything like that, but I'll try to figure out what game to play and whatnot. It'll be National League because I want to use it. I don't want to have the designated hitter. So it'll be somebody in the National League. I'll try to avoid using Cincinnati because it seems like I'm always playing Cincinnati. So I'll try to pick a game, some sort of game from 76. I don't know what it'll be yet. That's, I have no idea. I'll pick something from 76. Just won't be the Reds. It'll be somebody besides the Reds. And again, for anybody who likes this score sheet and would like a copy, if you send me an email to that address, I will be more than happy to send you the PDF. It is a 2-sided PDF. 2-sided. The other side's over here. I've got a game set up for Detroit and the Senators opening day as well, but I decided to play this one, the Met one, on video. This one I'll probably play offline just to get used to some of these players. But if you like that kind of score sheet, send me an email to that address, and I will be more than happy to send you a PDF copy. Like I said, it is 2-sided, so print it off 2-sided. You can get 2 games in on 1 sheet of paper and save paper. But from this game, and that's compared to the original score sheet B, which I don't really, I got it, it's okay, but you only get, if you use more than 3 relief pitchers for either team, you're going to run out of room. So that's why I like this one here, because each team you can use 5 relievers. You got space for 5 relievers, which I really like. and I've got this space down here to make notes for pinch hitters and so forth. So it's just, I just like the setup. It's just a neat little setup there. So anyway, I appreciate all you guys checking out this 1962 Mets game against the Cardinals. One of these days, I may do a Mets game against the 24 White Sox just for the heck of it, just for fun. But tomorrow morning, I hope to get back to my 1987. I've been saying this for like 4 days, but I really want to get back to it. The 1987 replay, Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians. So I hope to do that tomorrow morning. Saturday, of course, is NBC Game of the Week on Season Ticket Baseball. So be doing that one. I believe that's the Dodgers and the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. Dodgers versus the Giants from San Francisco. Up in the air on Fun Day Friday because A, I'm running out of games to use that are different, and B, I really want to concentrate on Strat more than anything else. So may or may not do that Fun Day Friday. Have to wait and see. Sunday night will be Game 7 of the Sparky Bowl, an inside pitch between the 76 Reds and the 84 Tigers. And of course, that is inside pitch. And Game 7, all the marbles. It'll be Gary Nolan against Jack Morris at Riverfront Stadium. Sparky is betwixt and between. He's beside himself. Gets schizophrenic, doesn't know which side to manage on. So he's trying to figure out which team of his is the best, and we'll find out on Sunday night. But for now, Strat-O-Matic has ruled the day here on this channel. A, with the good, bad, and the ugly replay, or not replay, but review. Thank you, K-Fan. You have a great evening yourself with the review, and then, of course, this game here tonight. So what I will probably do is once the Sparky Bowl is over, I'm going to put inside pitch away for a while. If I don't do the Fun Day Friday, that eliminates something. And that way I'm doing Strat all the time except for Saturday during the game of the week. So I may be able to do something besides the 87 replay, maybe something with the 2024 set, maybe some sort of demolition league type thing with a fewer amount, maybe a 6-pack of teams or something like that. I'll figure something out, just some random games or something, just to get, because I really want to learn about the modern players. I mean, I like to learn about the old players, but if I'm watching the game, these guys aren't on TV tonight. So if I want to go to the MLB channel and watch guys, I want to know who I'm watching. So I really want to, try to get into something with the 2024. And I don't have it on the Strat computer, so everything would be manual. And I don't have I've only got the carded players, not the non-carded. So possibly something like a demolition league type thing might be kind of fun. Rather than playing as play lineups, just play whatever, and just to get it out there and get those players, try to learn them. Maybe I'll play every game from opening day, and just that way I hit every team, and that way I can learn all the players. I mean, that's another alternative. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I'll see what if people like 2000, because nobody's doing 2024 in Strat on YouTube. I can tell you that. I haven't seen it, if they have. So, and I know I say I don't like the modern game, but I'm trying to learn the modern game. So, trying to give it every effort. I know this year more steals than last year. I'm not sure if the strikeouts are still high, but it's supposed to be a little bit more exciting with more running, more small ball maybe. So we'll see. I don't know. And of course, you had the World Series between the Yankees and the Dodgers. And you got the Chicago White Sox, who broke the record for the worst thing and everything else. So it's all up in the air. It's all on the whim. Whatever seems like a good idea and whatever people seem to like. If you guys like the 24 season, I'll play some of that. If you like 62, I'll play some more of that. If you like 76, when I play that, I'll play some more of that. Maybe I'll push 87 to where I only do one game a week on video and play the rest offline, so I have more time to play other seasons online. It's all up for fair game. So And I may start doing that with the 87 replay anyway, because I want to get this thing finished. If I have to play every game on video, this is going to take a long time. I'm doing like one game a day, and I really need to be playing like 3 or 4 games a day if I want to really knock this thing out. So I've got that on the computer, so I can always roll my dice and input it in the computer right away. And if I'm not doing a video, I can knock a game out probably about 15, 20 minutes. So I might start doing that and just maybe pick a game of the day. so I may start doing that. I don't know for sure. So tomorrow morning you might see a 1976 game instead of a 1987 game, because I might play these 1987 games, the last two for that date, offline, and then pick it up with the May 15th game. Pick one of the May 15th games, play it on video, play the other ones offline. That way I can get through this. We get this replay rolling. Because if I was just doing 87 and nothing else, I could do that. But if I'm doing all these other things, I'm retired, but I still don't have that kind of time. I still got other things I got to do. So, or want to do. I don't want to get burned out. I mean, you can get burned out playing Strat if you just overdo it. So, I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be a job. So that's the main thing. So anyway, thank you all for spending part of your Wednesday night with me. I know it's a little bit late. At least for me, when I was working, it was late. I can afford to sleep in, although I keep my usual sleep schedule. It's usually kept pretty close to what I like. So I doubt I do any oversleeping, because Tabby usually makes sure by like 7 o'clock she gets her food. So she's only going to let me oversleep for so long before she's going to chime in. So I'll have to figure out what the 76 game is going to be. I'll probably play that tomorrow morning, to be honest with you, instead of the 87. I'll probably play something from 76 in the National League. If you guys have any requests, I will. Just not the Reds. I do way too many Cincinnati Red games, and I don't want to feel like I'm a Cincinnati Reds fanboy or something. So I'll pick something besides 76. I might do San Diego Atlanta because it's a Randy Jones game. I like Randy Jones. He had a great year in 76, Cy Young Award winner. I might play the Pittsburgh Pirates because I like the Pirates. They were a fun team in '76. I don't know. I'll find something. Find something. I don't know. We'll find something in '76 to play. But anyway, enough rambling for me. I'm getting tired, and that's probably why I'm rambling, because I'm getting tired. But anyway, I hope I didn't offend anybody with my Strat-O-Matic review. I'm not trying to say that Strat is the only game out there that's worth playing. Obviously, a lot of games are out there worth playing. I can think of about 5 off the top of my head that are really fun to play and really worthwhile in playing. I just think for me, Strat-O-Matic it scratches the most itches, and so that's why I'm focusing on that right now. Is Strat-O-Matic, and it has its faults, no doubt, but it's still my go-to game. But if you like other games, even if you like Apple, I'm not mad at you. So, all right, until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. That's right, Craig. You do you, and I do me, and you do you. You got that right. All right, good night, everybody.